Hello and welcome to the 129th episode of Rambling Weekly. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I've been mildly busy, as everybody probably is, or at least to some extent. Uh, it has, yeah, I had that simple update about 2 months ago, and then I got a little sick, had some bronchitis, and then it just kind of I recovered from that, but then it was just kind of stabilizing the ship. And then I was like, I'd be like, I kind of want to do something, but then I was like, I don't really want to do anything. And even today, I kind of feel that way. But I was like, what? It's been a few months, couple months. So I was like, let's do something. So what has been going on? As you can see, there's kind of a different angle going on here with this. I flipped tables. So I used to have a small dining table, kind of more of like a how to put it, a cozier atmosphere with just a smaller dining table because it was really just me. But the roommate wanted to invite family over and have them come over and cook for them and enjoy their company and stuff. So I flipped out my table, which for the longest time had been a kitchen table, to a kitchen table, and I brought the dining table in here, which is nice because it's got its own little bookshelf. So I have some other books on there and stuff. Those are like my I'm reading bookshelves and stuff. So it works out well. Plus, it kind of turns into a sort of standing table. So because if I sit down, I'm a little out of view. Hi, but um, it's I can still sit down in it if I'm just kind of being leisurely. But if I want to be a little bit more, oh yeah, I don't want to say active because it's really not that much more active. But it does. I think it has helped a lot. Um, because I do a lot of driving for work, so I'm having to sit down a lot. And then when I get back and then just want to like take a moment, a little bit of a reprieve, I'll sit down and then 20, 30 minutes later I'll be like, I'm getting sleepy, I want to take a nap. So I think this will help to some degree. Mind you, it won't help with writing in any sense, but uh, it will. That I haven't really been able to ensnare the dance of writing while standing, but it's all right. That's fine. I don't have to try to do everything that way. With that said, I so a couple things on that front. I started to finally get into a better groove for writing, just in general, and I think I wrote like 4 or 5 poems that I'm kind of working on for this little poetry book I want to do, and then I have in doing so, it has greased the wheels to get back into part two a bit more proper, which is nice. It's pleasant. I've I've been well, last the last really year has not been very fruitful when it comes to writing and such. So it's good to get back into that. Not a lot of like mayhem, but a lot of craziness. I mean, if you pay attention to the news or anything, yeah, you probably might see that as well. So, um, just even on a personal level, it's just like, okay, all right, let's trim those down and stuff. This episode is just going to be kind of some. This is going to be very, very true to heart and maybe much more of a rambling thing. I had an idea for something, but I'm kind of. So, for example, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more into, and it may be because I want to resharpen my writing or to keep it from tapering off any more than it already has, but is to actually start writing out some of these rambling weekly thoughts and ideas and stuff. Not only because parsing it out might help me better articulate what I want to say, but also come up with answers to things that I'm halfway saying that I'm like, oh no, that'd probably be why. uh, and it would just save everybody a whole lot of trouble. But I think there's something endearing in the whole, like go down the rabbit hole and see how that thought process goes. Like I was telling one of my bosses, because she is her hearing is starting to get a little worse. Not like significantly worse, but enough that it becomes a struggle. I was like, well, that'll make you tired. And she kind of looked at me, and I was like, when you, it was a small little, very surface level article I was reading about how like the hearing difficulties. Even with somebody without hearing difficulties, if you were to be in like a very loud environment, um, a lot of times we predicate our communication on being able to predict what. Oh, this is what they're saying. Oh, I have an idea. When you have when you have a hearing issue, it kind of snowballs, and it's like even in just normal settings, the brain's having to run at a higher RPM just to kind of keep up. Because I think that this makes sense to me thinking on it, that why I don't really I have a really hard time remembering lyrics or very specifically the wording of things. Like I know earlier ramblings I would do quotes of stuff, partly because I would read something and see that and be like, oh, I really like that quote, I think it's a really cool quote. um, but I think in having to, so like if you hear something, right, if you hear the word and then you're able to be like, okay, from that word branch off to like, you truncate the possibilities, but you still have a branching effect of what that could be to a degree, depending on what the word is. But if you can't fully hear the word, you have to kind of keep all possibilities open. And I know when lyrics come about, like even for songs that I absolutely love, like I will not remember the lyrics because it's just for whatever reason, it's like my brain just refuses to just flash freeze it to be what it is, and then instead it's just kind of like, no, keep open the possibility that it might change. It's like, no, it really won't, but thank you. So um, yeah, that kind of thing. Um, I'm really, I'd like to within a year's time have part two done. Is that going to be possible? It is possible. Will it be done? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make the best effort to make that a possibility, or make that a reality, I should say. So that's me throwing that out there. Uh, it's been, oh, let's see. So like I've got two separate tabletop things I do, and they both are now entrenched in D&D 5e, the one from like 12 years ago, the 2014 version. And at least I think the one on Saturday I'm actually just playing, so it's kind of nice to get the player side of this as well. So, and it's also interesting to see how somebody does DMing differently. The Because you could learn things that you could be like, oh, I really like that, or oh, yeah, it's not really my thing. Um, Plus, whenever I say something, because it's my brother who was on one of these eons ago. he was I was telling him about some of the things I would do as a DM, and he's like, "Oh, you're evil." I was like, "What? No, 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 no! I'm not evil." Like for example, like I because they're both online, and the one we roll physical dice. So with my brother, we roll physical dice and stuff, and we just do the honor system, and the other one, plus it's just fun to roll physical dice. The other one, because of locations, we have to play online, and we played online and stuff. So, I could click the option of nobody else see to my rolls, but I want everybody to see that I am rolling, but they don't know if I'm rolling for anything or if I'm just rolling because they're just chit chatting and just like so more so because what it does is kind of keeps things moving a little bit, but they're just cognizant of just there's a world around them. Sure, there's certainly sometimes where that might be a thing to where okay, yeah, there are gonna be roles that um, might pose a problem or something, but it's just yeah, it's that sort of thing. But where I was getting with that is that it's so I'm not very familiar with the world stuff of D&D, so like a lot of this I'm learning, and some of that stuff is just diabolical. It's just it's like I wish more like JRPGs and stuff sort of took that because then there'd be a lot more thought processes going on with stuff instead of just simple let's hit it with a hammer, aka sword, aka whatever, and then done is done. Um, Sometimes hitting it makes the problem worse. With someone like a oh like some monsters, which yeah, I like that. I think that's a I wish that was more of a thing, and not just necessarily let's just talk it out. Um, because sometimes you can't just talk it out. And that's not to say we can't talk it out, so let's beat the hell out of each other because I don't think that's right either. Sometimes it's just kind of like it's not. Say your piece, be done with it, and move on. Um, so that is that's how I try to be, right? Right. I mean, if it comes to having throwdown, okay, sure, I guess do what I can, but um, I'm also nearly 40 and not a child, so like let's let's try a little harder here. Um, let's see that um so haven't been dabbling terribly much in games. I did actually finally play through Legacy of Rust, which was the add-on to Doom 1 and 2. Uh, I guess it would technically be a Doom 2 thing. That was really fun. I liked that game. That was really great. Great music. Uh, it kind of got a little annoying toward the end. Like the very last thing was just, it was just kind of like, okay, all right, this is kind of stupid, but okay, like it's one of those kind of slaughter map ish sort of things. At least that's what it felt like to me. But um, it was still really cool. Like the whole experience was really cool, and just the work and effort it went into it kind of solidifies to me that the original Doom might be the greatest game of all time with just all of that. Like the amount of how do I want to put this staying power, something like that from what a game from '93. You know, the smart thing to release all of that data and then let everybody be able to make their own wads and be able to let's program it into the refrigerator or into a thermostat or just kind of all that stuff. It's pretty wild. Yeah, that's I don't think that's too much of a leap to make, but um, certainly put a damper on a lot of different kinds of games. But at least when it comes to the boom shoots and that sort of thing, that's certainly how I scratch that itch. Good old OG Doom. Doom 2 to a lesser degree for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because I grew up playing the original Doom so much, but um, Doom 2 is all right. I actually prefer a lot of different like wads and stuff a little bit more. Um, and like Icarus. I love the Icarus one. That one's really fun. I don't think that one's a huge big one. I think it's middling to like that's pretty good. But I like that one a lot for some reason. Um, beyond that, let's see. I don't know what else I've really been. Let's take a look at Steam. Give me your answers. So I totally muck everything up. Oh, that's the other thing too. Like, so since the computer went kaput and I've now got a laptop, I'm using my old monitor and the laptop, so I have two screens. This is the first time I've ever had two screens. It's kind of nice. I had been living in barbaric stone man age, and yeah, it's pretty nice. So I don't. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Phasmophobia with a few people. That's been enjoyable. Um, it's also really funny to see somebody who's gotten like really good at it, and just like so that's kind of my thing with a lot of stuff, whether that's movies, games, life in general. Um, is like I would much rather somebody tell me about something because I know I can't experience everything. Um, so like when it comes to a TV show, and I may really enjoy it, but it's kind of like that's a lot of time, and there's a lot of other stuff I kind of have I would like to personally do, and that's something I've been trying to be better about. Is not to be so selfish with my own time when it comes to um, recreational. Uh, so like one one well Graham, who's been on before a few episodes ago, he yeah, he always gives me flack for not uh, not watching anything like that or anything. So I I was like, hey, I've got my scheduling down and stuff. Throw something my way. Um, and then another friend had me pestered me to watch that what was it, the Digital Amazing Circus or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. Mainly because I had heard about it, and I was like, and from what I had heard about it, it sounded very much like a spin off of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which there's nothing wrong in saying that. Like I read the short story, so it's kind of like, or you can listen to like what is it, like a 40-minute audiobook. It's a really short story, dark, bleak. And Harlan, what's it, Ellison? I think is his last name, or I think Harlan Ellison is his name. I know Harlan is his first name. Not like I know him by any personal stretch, but the author he said it was a very very uplifting book, and I get where he's going with it because it's like despite all of the torment to come, and that was staring him in the face, the POV character self sacrifices to free the others. Um, Plus the Am is an absolute psycho. It's just filled with so much hate. Why me? But it's yeah. So I guess taking that big inspiration and stuff, they're like, well, you should watch it and stuff. And it's like, oh, fine, fine, fine. Um, yeah, I'm kind of wondering if it's because I think I'm sticking to just watching like an episode a day. I just watched the second one yesterday, and to me, I'm kind of like, oh, is this going to turn into rampancy issues? Is that what we're starting to skew into? Or all these other characters really just manifestations of Kane trying to self actualize in a way that oh, kind of like a marathon. Like the original trilogy of Marathon's pretty sweet. So, um, could this be like trying to like do that? I don't know. I'm only two episodes in, so what do I know? And it's not like it's bad or anything. And there's certainly been parts where I've chuckled, and it's not like I'm like, oh, this is so dreadfully boring. What it actually makes me want to do is finally go back to finishing up watching the original run of Castlevania animated series that I got 2.5 seasons in, and I was like, "Oh, this is really great. This is really enjoyable," and then completely dropped it. Um, I think what I need to do is when it comes to media, when I'm like watching something, is stick to only watching like a couple episodes a day of something. Because I if I try to watch a lot of something, I just get bored of it real quick. Even though stuff I would like Star Trek or um, Deadwood or the original run of Mission Impossible that was at the late '60s or something. Um, those are really cool, but I watch a couple episodes of that and then it's just like, okay, or like Mystery Science Theater, which they did find one of the missing like K runs, like the very OG like local Minnesota airings of Star Force 2. Probably terrible because it's a local run, and that's not to like dog on it too much, but it's like it's so unrefined, but it's really cool to see that sort of that time period of just like, man, that's it's something. But that was much more riffing without any sort of refinement, and so it feels like a much more like, okay, yeah, we're all just chilling here watching this, because there's some of those K runs that are just like, oh, I think it'll be like 10-15 minutes where they just don't say anything. It's just like, maybe not 15 minutes long, at least 10 minutes. I think I want to say there's some sections where it's just um, but it's cool to see the evolution of that, and somebody had just randomly found the tape of it within the last couple weeks, so it's like that's pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Um, let's see what else, anything of note. With that being able to dual monitor, I should be able to do some recordings of games that I can't minimize, and then be able to do a window of, or I can just put it on one like get it to record that while being able to be like, okay, it's recording and stuff. So there's a couple games in particular that I'd like to do that are nothing fancy. I'm not a fancy guy, I say in my Cowboy Bebop beanie and Double Dragons 2, the Revenge t-shirt. I'm a bit of a dork, but but yeah. So I it would be nice to do that. Um, oh yeah. So yeah. What else has been running about in my noggin that I can really just sort of mention or talk about? Oh, uh, I guess one thing, I do kind of want to put it into a topic, or at least I did want to put it into the topic, but I'd certainly have to dwell on it a bit more. Is the complaints or grumblings about uh, two front, two front, two front. One, the use of the word slop. I'm tired of hearing it. I think it is kind of overplayed. It's kind of like epic. Like, let's just down the line. So like what was the so Mondays, me and a few of the boys, we've been every now and again we've been playing stuff, and oh, a part of that stuff would be things like Lethal Company, Peak, the Super Battle Golf, which I don't think any of them want to play with me anymore because I'm such a goblin. But games like that, and they get this disparaging, backhanded description of their friend slup. And it's like, okay, they are games you can play with your friends that are $7, $8 ish generally, and you play for a handful of hours and have fun, and then go about it. Like to me, that is where like that's it's just a more digitized version of what I did as a kid. When instead of that, we'd go over to somebody's house and play Smash Brothers 64 or GoldenEye or um, Twisted Metal. I remember going to a friend's house and playing the OG Twisted Metal in his kitchen on one of these like tiny TV screens. Oh, it was great. We had so much fun. Uh, and yeah, just doing things like that. That was I thought it was so much fun. Playing or like a racing game or something, Mario Kart, what have you. I know a lot of people will play like Minecraft or something, which I will never play. I will never play Minecraft, and it's not like, oh, it's a bad thing or anything. I just when it comes to playing games, I kind of like not kind of. I do like having a goal a goal to go for, and I yeah. I'm getting old. My dentures are falling out. Um, the I don't know. I just like having some sort of like goal to go for, and not just a nebulous. Just go have fun and explore. If I want to do that, I will go outside. that, that is much more appealing to me than to do that with my backhanded remark of it playing digital Legos. I played Legos as a child, and not to say that playing Minecraft means being a child. It's just more of like it's it is a type of experience that like I could definitely see myself losing tons of hours in as I casually look to my Caves of Cud playtime. But uh, I I just yeah it's just not for this version of me kind of thing. And I know for some people it's just a cool little decompress and stuff. Mine my decompressions can be either stupidly hard games, um, or just go through play like some of the OG Mega Mans or something. Like speaking of hard games, or at least games that are difficult for me, I so in my little Discord thing, the the few of us kind of carrying on the embers of the Gents Challenge from way back in the day. Um, that oh, Anzi and I we had done kind of something for each other. He had me play Suikoden. He wanted me to play Suikoden 2, but I was like, well, I'll play 1 and then 2, and I'll back to back those. And then I had him. I don't remember what I had him play. Was it Lufia 2? Maybe I don't remember. Wow, I don't remember. I remember. Yeah, I remember. I think it might have been Lufia 2, or it might have been Star Ocean 2. One or the other. Um, I can't quite recall. Man, that's all right. It's he got to experience playing a game that I think he enjoyed. At least I vaguely recall him saying, "Oh, it was pretty good. It was really enjoyable." I hope. And then I got to experience the wonderful fun Suikoden 1 and 2. Fun is very fun is not quite the word that probably should be used because that game likes to emotionally punch you in the balls, but and it's got one of the greatest villains of all time, sort of, kind of, maybe. I mean, it is interesting how much of the air gets sucked out of the room once Luca Blight goes out the door, but that doesn't make the game any worse. I think it actually has it's I think it's really cool when it does happen because then you're like things move on. There are other things that still need done. He was only a cog in the menagerie of nonsense that is plaguing the lands. So, um, but from that, he had the wherewithal, smartness, and what have you to expand it to make it into a thing called the Gents Challenge, um, where you have like a backlog of stuff, and then you'd get paired up with somebody, and then you each look at each other's backlogs and be like, oh, well, I want you to play that. So, yeah, just I think it was kind of fun because then if you pick you have a backlog of like three games you really do want to play and two you're kind of like or like one that's like, oh, this is heinous, I really don't want to, but it'd be kind of funny, and somebody does the same, you can just kind of be you poke at each other and be like, hey, play that really awful game. um, but and then you'd have like a month or so to play through it. Anyways, there's three of us doing that now, and because there's three of us, we decided, hey, let's just do a round robin thing of we each pick one for each other, so we have two games to go through. And I was bequeathed the task of going through the remake of Resident Evil 3, which is a shorter game. I played through the remake of 2. I loved that game, and I bought 3 shortly after, just never got around to it. So, and then I know people were pretty upset about the clock tower being uh, cut out of the game and just kind of the general vibe of it and stuff. But I thought the second one was great. So it was enjoyable before, and then it was just really really fun the second time around. They even when they did kind of tweak some things for that one. The other one is Sonic Mania, and I've slowly been chipping away at that, and it just reinforces the idea that I'm not very good at Sonic games, and to those who are, because I mean I get it. You're playing a game for the first time. You know, chances are you're not going to be super duper good at it, unless it's like a game. Some people do have that knack for it. I don't when it comes to Sonic. There's too much blast processing going on for me. And Sega does what I don't. So yeah, I've got Sonic Mania, and I don't remember exactly where I'm at. I think the sixth zone. The Speedway, Stardust Speedway, or something like that. It's been about a week or so since I played it, so I can't quite recall. I do love the throwbacks and going back into OG zones and stuff. That's been fun. Um, so and helpful things. It is a little bit of a lifeline to be like, oh, I'm getting like I've got 11 lives now, so it's not like it's a hyperly difficult game. I ain't getting those Chaos Emeralds. Sorry, Sonic. You're just gonna have to do without. I'm just normal beating the game. Like the only time I've ever gotten the all of the Chaos Emeralds, I think I may have gotten it once in the in Sonic 2, maybe. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. Um, but the only one I've ever done it for is the OG one, the one that was on the Master System, the one that was also in the Game Gear, and I did it on the Game Gear, and yeah, yeah, that's more my pace. You're great music for it too. I love the like the bridge zone, the da 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 do 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 do. That soundtrack even was really really enjoyable. Very fun melodies in that. Same with the brain scratch tone for that one. That one's got a really good tune. I like that song a lot. Um, I think it was brain scratch. I think there was a brain scratch tone. There's an industrial one in there that's got, yeah. Anyway, and I think there's only 6, and they're just sitting there. You just find them in hiding spots, hidey holes. Um, but yeah, so I've been slowly getting through Sonic Mania, and I ain't good at it. Like like I think it's the CD version or Sonic and Knuckles or whatever where you or you know 3 or where you go and get the blue hit the blue balls and turn them red and stuff. I am woefully bad at that. I just like sheer moments of just like, oh yeah, just turn right into that red one. Why did I do that? Yeah, whatever. It's bad. It's just like okay, like it's all the Schadenfreude and secret glee that I got from watching younger siblings try to play Mega Man or something. If they if they could only see me play Sonic, they would probably deride me and mock me for my lack of Sonic skills. Oh, whatever will I do? Um, that is about it. I think that's what we're gonna tap out right there. Yeah. So, like I said, just kind of a bit of some ramblings and just some stuff. Yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. And I mean, like yeah, part of it also is with this different computer and stuff. I've really got to find some sort of software, like editing program thing, or something at some point because I've got this free one, and the free one isn't bad or anything. It's serviceable. Yeah, I appreciate it for what it is. But I need to get one. That's partly why I have my videos have always been really because I've always had a free editing software, and I don't mean yo ho ho a bottle of rum kind of free. I mean, okay, this was a free one. I guess with that also um because of losing my old computer entirely, I lost all of my videos and stuff that I had squared away for Genealogy: The Holy War, and I wanted to do another, I wanted to add on another part and then stitch them all together with some stuff in between. I still want to do that. I just have to re-download the videos, but I'm gonna have to wait until I actually buy a proper editing program to make it work. Um, yeah, I really don't know. Uh, I might be able to get by with that editor, that free one that I have, but I'd rather not try that. So in the meantime, plus it'll give me time to because that seventh one that I have to do, I've got to be on my best behavior when playing through it, because it's a lot of work. I think because you can't have any pairings except for the ones that are just story forced. So I got to figure out a way to make that a thing. So yeah, yeah. And then it'll be really hard on the back end of things. Yay! That and I need to do a Thrakia, and I want to get through and do some more of the Fire Emblem stuff. I liked how I had done that genealogy one, and I kind of thought about doing something similar for Thrakia. But even though it's Thrakia, or borrowing Thrace and stuff in the at least that that name, like at least the with genealogy, there's a lot of Norse mythology being ballybooed about. The for Thrakia, it's Leaf. Leaf is your main boy, and I wanted what I wanted to do with that one is kind of stitch in a lot of like Irish and Scottish, um, like folk music and that sort of thing. Um, Especially just that good old rebellious side of things. So, uh, um, but I've got to think on that one. But I do want to get to Thrakia at some point. Um, and then I don't know, kind of jump around a little bit, jump around, jump around. Because I do love my Fire Emblems. I just do not love the later Fire Emblems so much. Just not quite my jam, but that's okay. Can't love everything. Shouldn't love everything. If you love everything, I think something's wrong with you. So, but that's it for me. That's it. I don't have anything else. My brain kind of like a thing kicked on. I was like, well, anyways, yeah, that's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, nights, weekend, weekday, and everything in between. And I will catch you next time. Toodles.